Hey folks, if you were worried about BRICS, if you're worried about the QFS, if you're worried about all the crazy changes that are happening economically and around the world, and it's got you afraid, it's got you concerned about what do you do with your money, should you stay in America, like all this weird stuff that's going on, this is the most important video you will ever watch, and I guarantee it. How do I guarantee it? Because I'm going to set the record straight. I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm really kind of irritated today because a bunch of people have sent me this video of this lady who is out there stirring fear. And I'm going to share with you just a little bit. I have never, ever done a reaction video. I'm going to kind of try to do one here because I watched this thing. I literally wanted to blow my brains out. I'm like, this is devastating. So let me share some of it with you here. Let's see if we can do this here. I'm going to press play.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to break this to you.
Yeah, I don't know how she's going to break it to me either. This is crazy. Let me turn the volume up. Hopefully you can hear this. I'm just going to say this. I got off Telegram almost a year ago because it was just so depressing. I just couldn't do it. Like, it was just so much negative energy. And I kind of kept coming back every once in a while, and finally Kevin convinced me that I needed to start putting content back on Telegram, so start doing that, and then here I am getting bombarded by this real gem. I don't know who she is. I don't know how she's going to break it to us either, but let's listen to what she's going to break to us.
But last night, Lord have mercy, this is bad.
Oh, it's bad.
I need for everybody who listens to me, who has any type of, just anybody who's listening to me, to pay attention.
You hear the music? Really sets the tone.
Is your last warning.
Oh no, this is it. This is the
last warning.
Last one.
Last night, BRICS sealed a deal with Africa, Russia, China, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. So now,
hold on. Brazil, Russia, China, Iran, Saudi Arabia. No, that's not BRICS. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. She don't even know what the countries are.
Of November 1st, the BRICS currency will be dominant. The U.S. currency will be practically to dust.
This is terrible.
What that means is, for every $1 US, you must spend $55 in order for it to equal $1 in the BRICS currency.
Wait a second. I have to spend $55 for it to equal $1? That makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. This is illogical. And the music is so terrible. I'm not even joking. I had to do this. When I watched this video, my blood pressure went up. I just wanted to try it again. It just went up. My blood pressure is never this high. Can you see that? This is ridiculous. Literally, the music like makes my blood pressure go up like 20 points. I can't handle it. It's killing me. It's killing me. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch all this because, frankly, it would kill all of us, and none of us deserve that. This is crazy. She doesn't even know what BRICS is. I don't know why this girl has gotten all this fame today on Telegram, but everybody should just delete her video. Literally, delete her because there's no room for her in your life. I'm going to tell you the truth right now, and you can choose to believe me or you don't have to believe me, but what I'm going to tell you is the truth, and that's the way I always shoot. I just shoot straight, okay? Here's the reality, folks. Whenever you listen to messages on Telegram or anywhere on social media, and I'm specifically talking about Telegram because it's kind of an echo chamber for negative stuff. What you have to understand is you have to put a filter on it, and you have to ask yourself this question: how does this make me feel? How does this video make me feel? Does it make me feel afraid? And if the response is yes, it makes me feel afraid, it's not from God. It's not a good video. This is not the video that you need to be watching. You might say, oh, but, fear is a good thing. It can protect. No! Stop! Stop! All these videos are doing, all this fear is doing is creating a fight or flight stimulus in your body. And it's blowing out your adrenals. People are falling over with adrenal fatigue and all sorts of crap because they're so enamored with the fear. Guess what? Those of you who are trying to fight the cabal, listen to what you're doing. Watch, pay attention to what you're doing. Those of you who are trying to fight the cabal, how have they controlled the world for years, for decades? through fear. And now you're going to go back out here and give this girl power and say, oh, I can't believe it. This is all going to happen. And if you watch the video, she goes on to tell everybody you need to sell your houses. She didn't say sell your house. She says short sell your house. Short sell your house, pack up, and leave the country. That's what she's telling you. And she tells you that because the U.S. dollar is going to be worthless and everybody's going to go to BRICS. And, you know, this is just because our politicians have done the crap that they've done. Now, listen, I agree with some of that. The politicians have done a bunch of really, really bad stuff, okay? But no, do not short sell your house. This is crazy talk, literally crazy. It's like beyond the fringe of crazy, okay? No going out and selling your house. And in fact, I'll tell you what you should do if you wanted to even make that play. No, we don't need to leave up and need to pack up and leave the country. What I want to encourage you to do, first of all, take every thought captive. Every thought that comes into your head, take it captive and ask, where is the source of this coming from? If it's from fear, it's not from God. If it's not from God, who's it from? It's from the devil, right? It's not for you, okay? Second thing I want you to do is I want you to realize that there's a frequency that is controlling everything. And this is part of what the info war is. You know, whether or not you agree with what's the guy's name who does the show InfoWars? The idea is exactly right. It's an information warfare. We're in the information age, and this war that's going on is an info war. And the way that they're doing it is they're putting out disinformation. They're using people like this girl. Maybe she's a great girl with good intentions. I don't know. I don't know who she is. I'm just telling you, this video is pure toxic. This video literally made me want to blow my brains out. I'm like, I can't handle this. This is terrible, okay? Plus, it's not truth. It's not grounded in truth. She doesn't even know the nations that are part of BRICS, number one. She keeps referring to the G7 summit as the C7. Like, she's not educated. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't understand inflation. I'll talk about that here in a moment. But before I do that, I want to tell you what you need to look for when you watch these videos and whenever you put it through the filter. Put it through the filter of what's the frequency. And I'm going to share this with you, okay? I want to share my screen with you, and I want to introduce you to a book that maybe you have, maybe you haven't seen before. It's called Power versus Force by an author named David Hawkins. And I discovered this book a few years ago. My wife actually is the one who discovered it. And basically, he introduces us to this idea of different concepts of frequency, different concepts of energy that is all around us. And I'm not going to go into the details of it, but I'm going to give you the punchline. I'm going to kind of cut to the chase here, if you will. And I'm putting up this map of consciousness. I'll take it totally full screen here so you can look at the map instead of me. And what you're going to see here on this map is you're going to notice different emotions. You're going to see down here at the bottom, these low emotions, these are low energy emotions. You'll see the very, very bottom is shame and guilt and apathy and grief. And then look here, here's fear. And then desire, and then anger. These are survival emotions. These are not high energy states. You'll see right next to it on this log, you'll see what is the energetic ranking of this. Shame ranks as low as possible at 20. Guilt is at 30. Apathy is at 50. Grief's at 75. You finally get up to pride. I mean, gracious, pride. We're actually starting to get somewhere, right? Okay, why am I making a big deal about this? Because everything is energy. This girl in her video, what did she stimulate? If you look at this chart, what did she stimulate? Well, it's really easy to see. Number one, she stimulated fear. I mean, good gracious, she stimulated so much fear that I see people like, oh, should I sell everything I have? What do you think of this, Jeremy? You have all of this fear that's like at a level 10. You have guilt, and you have all this like emotion of I should have done something, and all this unresolved tension. Listen, folks, this is not good energy. But contrast this. If you go on up the chart, look what happens when we get on up here. First of all, I'll just tell you, without you having to read the book, the line is courage. This is where everything starts to take a positive turn. And on the chart, that's only a level of 200 of energy, okay? So it's actually not that high. But you think about courage. I mean, courage is, you know, most people are like, oh, courage, yeah, really courageous. You're just starting to get into the good energy vibe at courage. Courage is not something that should be hard, but our society has programmed people so much to live in a state of pride and anger and desire and fear and grief and all this stuff that courage seems like, wow, like, this is really something we're going to be courageous and go out and do. But let's go on up the scale. Let's look at where this thing goes. Okay, if you go on up the scale, we get to a level of neutrality. We start to get some balance, and then we're starting to have some willingness and acceptance. And then look up here at the high frequencies. We get up into the frequencies of spiritual paradigm, and look at what it is: love, joy, peace. What? Love, joy, peace. Look at the energetic log for love. The energy of love is 500. 500. The energy of joy is 540. The energy of peace is 600. Now, where have you heard these things before? You've probably heard them somewhere in your life, right? Where have you heard love, joy, peace? How about over here? Remember those fruits of the Spirit? Love, joy, peace? Look at that. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. It's right there in the old Bible. It is right there. It's been telling you all along. Folks, it's not New Age. Whenever you hear people say, keep your vibrations high, it's not New Age. It's not New Age. This is what the Bible talked about. The Bible actually told you this. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, goodness, self-control. I got them out of order. Faithfulness. The Bible told us this. Jesus said it, or I think it was actually the Apostle Paul said it, but somebody said it. It's in the Bible. Take every thought captive. Why? Because everything happens in your thoughts. Everything happens in your thoughts. Everything starts with your thoughts. That's why it's so important to take your thoughts captive and to keep your vibration high. Now, what does it mean to take your thoughts captive? I know the Bible verse says something like, take your thoughts captive, so as unto the Lord, or something like that. But realize what it's doing is it's saying every thought that comes into your head is the seed of a reality that's about to occur. So if you have negative thoughts, if you have thoughts of fear, what does that manifest as in your life? It manifests as fear. If you have thoughts of doubt, if you have thoughts of uncertainty, if you have thoughts of inadequacy, or all these different things that come into our lives, if we have those thoughts and we let them take root, instead of taking it captive and getting rid of that, what does it do? It manifests as the very things that we don't want in our life. The thing that is killing society today is fear. The thing that is killing everybody is this low vibration of fear and uncertainty and uneasiness and this anger. And I get it. I totally get it. It's easy to look at what's happening and to be afraid. It's easy to look at what's happening and the people that are doing it and to be full of anger. But you can't accomplish anything in anger. We can only accomplish something in love and in joy and in peace. And so whenever you hear people come out, especially on Telegram, and say, keep the vibrations high, keep the vibrations high, what they're doing is they're saying you've got to move towards love, joy, and peace. You've got to consciously take those thoughts captive and be intentional about it. And it's something that we can actually refer to as living the results in advance. There's a pastor named Mark Batterson. If you've never read his book, it's called Circle Maker. You should read his book. It's a fantastic book. I didn't have a picture of it for you here, but I just thought about it. It's called Circle Maker. And he talks about when you pray your prayers, you imagine, you live your results in advance. You assume that it's already done. Okay, well, this is the same principle of manifestation. This is what New Age people refer to as manifesting something out of nothing. And then, people are out here talking bad about it. No, it's the same thing. We're talking about the same thing. Unconditional faith is the same thing as living your results in advance. Unconditional faith, knowing something is going to happen with absolute certainty, is the same thing of manifesting your results right now. And that's the only way energetically that it can happen. This girl, I don't know what her name is. Poor thing. I mean, she needs a lot of help because this is really, really heavy. And I just really want to encourage you, don't watch it. Don't watch it, and don't watch stuff like that. Block it from your feeds. If you want to actually get ahead in your journey here, whatever your journey is, you can't let that kind of stuff in. Okay, so that's my message for you. Now let's talk about some of the positive stuff here. I actually made some notes for you here. How do we replace the lies? How do we replace the fear? Number one, we have to replace it with truth. Okay, so what is the truth? What is the truth? The truth is not that BRICS is taking over and the whole world is going to fall apart and it's going to burn and we all need to move to Africa. I don't know, that just seemed really strange to me. Here's the truth about BRICS. The truth is nobody knows. That's the truth. The truth is nobody knows. This girl does not have an inside source. I guarantee you. I promise you she does not have an inside source. I have inside sources, and they would not tell her. Promise, okay? So the first thing is nobody knows the details of BRICS. We're going to find out on August 22nd what's going on. Okay, we know that Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, they formed this coalition as an antidote to the central banking system of the West. We know that, okay? But they did not create this to destroy the world's economy. They did not create this to blow everything up so that everybody had to sell everything in a short sell and leave the country and run for the hills. No, that's not what it's created for, okay? That's the first thing. So first thing is nobody knows the details. This whole 55-1, first of all, I heard that going around, and it was quoted exactly backwards. The way that I heard it quoted is that 55 bricks would equal $1. Well, that's a very different thing. More importantly, the whole idea of this BRICS currency is that it's a standard. It's a standard. So that all that means is it means that it's backed by gold or another type of an asset. Okay, that doesn't mean that it's here to destroy the world. Like, there's a big jump here from we're creating an asset-backed currency over to we're going to destroy the world. Okay, big jump, illogical jump. Don't fall for it. Now, I'm not going to go there. Next thing I want you to understand is the size of the United States economy is 25% of the world's GDP. GDP is gross domestic product or production. Basically what that's saying is we move 25% of the world's goods and services in the United States. Okay, 25%. The next closest is China. Now I know China is part of BRICS. Okay, got it. China's sitting there at 17%, which equals about 17 trillion. The United States is about $25 trillion a year in economic size. Okay, that's what it moves through. Where do you think we get most of our goods and services? It ain't Alabama. Sorry, no. Most of our goods and services are actually going to, well, I don't want to say most of them, but I don't have the exact statistic off the top of my head. A huge number of the products that we move come from where? They come from China. China. Okay? They come from Thailand. They come from Venezuela. They come from Vietnam. They come from Ecuador. They come from Mexico. They come from all over the world. Why? Because the United States is the largest importer as well. It's not just that we move the products, we import the products. When we import the products, where's the money go? It goes back to these countries. So my wife's from Brazil, okay? Do you think that Brazil wants to destroy the United States economy? No. No. They want to have a stable currency. All we're trying to do is get back to what Bretton Woods was supposed to create in the 1940s. That's all we're trying to get back to, a stable international currency standard. That's it. Nobody's trying to destroy the world. Brazil needs America. China needs America. All of these countries need America. India needs America. They need the United States buying and selling goods. Okay, now my inside source, the person that I actually know that's actually working on this stuff, what they told me is they told me that yes, there is a movement to get rid of the central banking system, but they're doing it in a way that even though the central bank has been evil, they're doing it in a way that the United States is a major player in this. Now, if the United States is a major player in this, why would they be destroying it? They're not. They're not. They can't afford it. China cannot afford for 1/4 of the world's GDP to be destroyed. They cannot afford it. So no, they're not doing it. Use logic here. Okay? Put it through the filter of discernment. If it's based in fear, it's not from God, number one. Number two, just use some logic. I mean, this is not hard. Next thing, I'm not going to go through the rest of these statistics. Let's talk about inflation. I really want to talk about inflation because she says in here, and I'm hearing this a lot, and as somebody who's spent their entire life, well, not my entire life, but the last many years of my adult life, in the financial space and dealing with a lot of economics, you have to understand how inflation works. Let's just say that this girl's right, and I know I didn't play the whole video, but let's just say that she's right, and the US dollar collapses. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that your home value collapses. It does not mean that your car value collapses. It does not mean that really anything collapses, including the stock market. And I just sent out a video yesterday telling everybody that I'm expecting the stock market to go down. Okay? So those videos, that video that I sent out yesterday doesn't correspond with this message of, oh, the dollar's collapsing and all the prices are going to fall. You say, well, how does that not correlate? think about what inflation is. The value of the dollar, if it's high, it keeps prices down. It doesn't push prices higher. If the value of the dollar is high, it pushes prices down. If the value of the dollar collapses and it goes down, prices go up. If you don't believe me, that's fine. You're just not schooled in economics. Look at Venezuela. Venezuela has one of the most devalued currencies in the world, right? How much does rent cost in Venezuela? I mean, their currency is worth nothing. It's collapsed, but it is the definition of collapsed. Rent in Venezuela is about $700 and something US dollars a month. You know what that is in Venezuelan bolivar? It's like 2.5 billion bolivar. 2.5 billion. Can you imagine if your rent was $2.5 billion? So let's back out. Why would we go short sell a house? Let's say your house is $500,000. We're going to go short sell this house because the dollar is about to collapse. If the dollar collapses, you know what happens to that home value? It goes to the moon faster than any cryptocurrency, faster than anything you can imagine. Okay? Your home values, if we get into a situation of hyperinflation, your home values are going to go through the stinking roof. The last thing you want to do is go short sell it. Your home that's worth $500,000 today might be worth $500 billion in 2 years if we have hyperinflation. Now, I am not saying that. Don't anybody go out and quote me and say that your home's going to be worth $500 billion. I did not say that, and I 100% do not mean that. Okay? Be very, very clear. I'm just talking about an extreme example of what hyperinflation does. A collapse of the US dollar means that you're going to see asset prices go so high that nobody can afford them. But that doesn't mean that they collapse. See, this is foolish talk. This is uneducated economics to say otherwise. And I hear it all the time. I hear it all over the internet. All the truther communities, people are out there saying that the dollar's going to collapse and stock market's going to collapse overnight and all these bad things are going to happen. No, that's not how it's going to work. It's not how it's going to work. For many, many reasons, that's not how it's going to work. For the most basic reason, because that's not how economics works. It's just not, okay? So let's put some logical economics hats on and understand how this works. Let's talk about gold and silver really quick. If you're worried, if you're really, really worried about the US dollar collapsing, the best thing to do is not to short sell your house. The best thing to do would be to start loading up your assets into other assets that won't collapse with the US dollar. So you say, well, what kind of an asset would not collapse? Well, ironically, your house is one asset that would not collapse in the event that the dollar collapses, because real estate will go up in a situation of hyperinflation. Okay? Gold and silver, actually really any precious metal, but gold and silver. These are precious metals that will go up in value in the event of hyperinflation. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. In the event that BRICS comes out and pegs their new BRICS currency, whatever they call it, we'll just call it a BRICS. Let's say that they peg that one brick equals, we'll just say one brick equals 1 ounce of gold, okay? That means in US dollar terms today, that one brick would be worth about a little less than $2,000 per brick. Let's just say that was it, okay? I don't think that's going to be the number, but let's just say it was. What that means is if then the US dollar collapses, and let's say that that value went from roughly $2,000 per brick or per ounce of gold to, we'll just say 20,000, just something really, really big, 10 times, okay? What that would mean is your ounce of gold will now get you 20,000 US dollars. That's a hedge, that's an offset to the inflation. Okay? Let's not be irrational. Fear leads people to irrational decisions. Irrational. We're not going to be irrational here. Now, I'm not going to suggest this. What I'm going to tell you, this is not a suggestion. I'm prefacing this. She said in this video, everybody should go short sell your house, leave America, and go to another country. This is absolute irrational foolishness. I'm not saying that. I am going to say this. If you were, if what she's described is actually going to happen, short selling your house and leaving the country still doesn't make any sense. There's not a universe, there's not a parallel universe where this makes any sense. It would be better, and again, I'm not saying do this, it would be better for you, if you really believe that was going to happen, to go get a home equity line of credit on your house. Take your equity out right now and put it into gold or into a crypto or into something that will offset the risk. And then when the prices revalue, you could sell a little bit of your gold at the new higher price, or you could sell a little bit of your crypto at the new higher price, pay off that HELOC, and then boom, you keep your house, you got a paid off house, and you're positioned to win in hyperinflation. Folks, use logic, use good economic sense. This is just crazy. Don't give in to the fear. Don't give in to the irrational financial wisdom from somebody who clearly does not have a clue what she's talking about. Next thing I want to talk about, I want to give you a couple of positive things that you can build from here. Realize this, I know this in my soul. I mean, I know this because of the people I talk to. I know this because of the people that I know on the inside. I do believe that the military on some level is in control. If they're not presently in control, they would take control in this circumstance. Use your logic, folks. 330 million people in America suddenly cannot buy bread, cannot buy water. And you're thinking the most important thing is to short sell your house and leave the country? No. The moment that happened, if it happened, and it's not going to happen, she says it's going to be November 1st. No, it ain't going to happen. But the moment that happened, what you would see is you would see the military step in. They would establish some sort of a martial law. They would create a rationing program. They would get everybody calm and under control. And it's possible that would happen. That is a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen. But it is a possibility that could happen. That's the way it would go. It would not be what this girl said to do. So don't listen to her, okay? Next thing that I want you to know is, actually, I think we talked about all of that. Sorry. I'm not really going on my notes here. I just had a couple of notes I wanted to share with you. Military will step in. Military will prevent the chaos. I did want to say this. This reminds me, when I was in college in the late 1990s, some of you might remember this. You may be old enough, maybe you don't. There was a book that came out called The Millennium Bug. Anybody heard that? The Millennium Bug. And this book sparked fear in the hearts of millions of people. Millions of people. I know the author of that book. He actually sold his house. He lives here in Nashville where I live. And he sold his house. And they moved about 2 hours out of Nashville, built a house on a farm, went totally off grid. Because they were so convinced that this millennium bug was going to happen. Computers were going to hit the year 2000 and the world was going to blow up. And everybody would be unable to buy or sell. And hyperinflation would hit and all this crap. And that's what it was. It's crap. It's kind of embarrassing for him and all of his family because nothing happened. We got to January 1st, everything rolled over, and what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And most of the time, that's what happens. Because fear is not from God. Fear is not from God. Look, folks, this is an incredible time. I've been saying it. I'll continue to say it. This is one of the greatest times in world history. It's not a time to be afraid. It's a time to be excited. Yeah, there's uncertainty, but uncertainty shouldn't equal fear. Uncertainty equals opportunity. Do you realize it's in times of great uncertainty is when the greatest opportunities are? We can have the biggest investment opportunities of our lifetime in times of great uncertainty. This is when everybody else is afraid. This is the time right now to find your certainty, to get grounded, to get focused, and go out and expand your territory. Don't contract. Don't go short sell everything. That's a terrible idea. That's an absolutely horrendously terrible idea. Don't do that. Position yourself differently. Look at it differently. Educate yourself differently. If the people you're listening to are telling you to short sell everything and leave the country, you need to listen to better people. If the people that you're listening to are stirring fear, if they're stirring uncertainty, if you find yourself every day waking up and you're like, oh, I got to go get on Telegram and see what happened today. Did the world explode? You need help. You really need help. You got to get over that. You're addicted to fear. And that is not good. So I'm just really challenging you. And please don't ever send me that stuff again. I mean, I had literally like 5 people send that to me today. I'm like, what in the world? Why are people sending me this girl? It's terrible. It's terrible. Get grounded. Okay, get grounded. Now, if you've not subscribed or become a member of my group on Telegram, if you're watching this on my group, then fantastic. I appreciate it. Share this, okay, because we got to change this. We got to change the vibration. We got to change this energy. So share this with your friends and family and your whoever. Share it with your worst enemy. Share it with the most afraid person you know. Whoever you know, just make a list right now. Who do I know that is absolutely terrified right now? Share this video with them, okay? And then tell them to come become a member of the J-Dubs Nuggets room, Okay, and what I'm going to do, if you guys will show up and if you guys will engage with me and you'll give me questions and you'll let me help you, I'll help you. This is what I do for a living. This is my profession. Okay, I work full-time in the financial industry, in the stock market. I teach people how to work with their stocks and their options and crypto. That's what I do. Okay, I understand this really well. I understand economics really well. I understand personal development extremely well. Okay, extraordinarily well. And I'll help you get grounded. And most of this I'll just do for free. Okay, there's some stuff that, because it is my business, I have to draw a line eventually. But most of this, if you just come into the room and you ask questions, I'll just give you answers. What I don't want to see is, I don't want to see this fear. Like, there's 500 of you right now that are probably going to watch this, okay? If all of you shared this with 10 people, that would be 5,000 people. If we could get 5,000 people to share it with 10 people, that'd be 50,000 people. Okay, how fast could we change the community if we just change the message? So that's my challenge to you. My challenge, if you're not subscribed to my room, get subscribed to J-Dub's Nuggets, okay? I don't know where it is here, but it's somewhere. Subscribe, whatever you have to do. Join the room. Okay, next thing is share this with at least 10 people and encourage them to share it with 10 people. And come in here and let's change the conversation. Let's change the narrative. No more fear, okay? No more fear. What I'm willing to do with you guys, what I'm willing to do for you is I'll do some videos, I'll do some stuff like this. I'll do some training on what to do after the QFS happens. I'll do some stuff, what to do if you suddenly have a big windfall of money and you don't know what to do with it. I'll do some training on that to really help you guys out, okay? But all of it actually starts with this. It doesn't matter if you had $100 billion, and you could have $100 billion. That's great. That's awesome. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to manage your emotional intelligence, if you don't know how to discern the difference of the spirit of fear and the spirit of opportunity. You know, if you don't know how to discern those two things, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Okay, so do that right now. If you like this video, then just become a member of the room. Let me know. Just say something. Just say hi to people. And let's start the conversation. This room is specifically for financial issues and personal development issues. I don't want to see fear. No, if you guys post fear, I'll just delete it, okay? There's no fear. There's no crazy conspiracies about worlds that used to exist or aliens or anything like that. There's plenty of other places that you can go get that kind of stuff. This room is about the truth. This room is about the stock market, crypto market, financial markets in general, economics. You can talk about economics all day long, and we can talk about personal development and things that are high vibration and for the good, okay? You will not hear me stirring fear because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in fear. In fact, even when the stock market goes down, I just did that video yesterday, what do I say? I said it's tons of opportunity. More importantly, I understand the economic and the societal cycles that have brought us here. This is the greatest time in history. I mean, this is an extraordinary time to live. So there's no room for fear. So let go of all the fear. Subscribe to J-Dub's Nuggets. Come in here. Let me know what you're feeling. And let's see if we can get you grounded, okay? Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.